You're going to be good. You're going to be great. What up, Bulls Nation? We've got live CHGO Bulls Podcast coming up right now. On today's show, plus, minus. What have we liked? What have we liked less over the Bulls' last week or so worth of games? Plus, Zach Collins nearing a return. Jalen Smith trending up. Vooch trending down a little bit. What will Billy Donovan make of his center rotation when he has Collins available? And we'll wrap things up with a fresh look at the Eastern Conference Power Rankings. All ahead next. Ultra. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. CHGO Bulls is presented by Nikola Vucevic and Bet365. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Nikola Vucevic and download the Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Peck, Bulls _ Peck. That's Big Dave Bow. BAWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, perfectly quiet. Will _ Gottlieb, and our guy, King of the Controls, Joey C. What up, Joey?
Good, great, Ultra. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How you doing,
Shout out
Ultra?
to the believers. Greetings, everyone. I come in peace, as do we all, Bulls Nation.
Do we all?
I was about to say all the time. That's not true. Sometimes I choose violence.
That is very true. That is very true.
But today, why not come in peace?
Why not?
Because we all, late last night, watched the Bulls win, I would say, their most improbable game of the season.
That's a good way to put it.
Teams come back from 20-point deficits all the time.
Yeah.
And the win against Philly, no slouch victory.
Yeah.
But most improbable so far in their schedule, in Denver on the second night of a back-to-back with no Coby White, I would say is pretty gosh darn improbable.
To be fair,
Basking in it.
Bulls, again, 3-0 in their last 3 games against the Nuggets. They are 4 out of their last 5 in Denver they have won. Shout out to Jason Pratt for that one. But
Asterisk, one of them was Sans, Nikola Jokic, and Aaron Gordon.
Sure, it's a win. I didn't see an asterisk, but there, it's a W. 4 of their last 5 is there. It's that's why I'm agreeing with you as far as it being improbable like that, because you can still, like you say, want to put an asterisk on that and say, well, this win, but no, they've been beating Denver, man, and wow. Makes me wonder and makes me more interested in the next game and how serious Denver will take this, because Joker did not look like he was happy about losing that game, and particularly to the Bulls, man, which made me smile because the Bulls got a victory over the best player in the league right now. So, yeah, I will take it.
And if he would have shot better, maybe they would have won.
Oh, talk that, Gold. How about just shoot better?
I'm not even really saying it like that.
That's what he's saying.
He shot like 45%. He shoots 67% from the field. So he makes one more shot.
It was more of a hilarious, Joker
It
had
was
a
more
bad
of
shooting
a-
night. He was 13 of 27.
Right.
It's more of a comment on how freaking good he is.
A single miss away from his shooting 50% from the field.
Slacker.
Which would have been 17% below his season average.
He's slacking.
He's slack.
Shout out to Bears Bulls for Life, saying y'all starting a conversation with his title. So, yes, we are going to talk about that center rotation coming up in today's show. But before we got to that, wanted to talk about what's trending up and what's trending down. It is our segment we call Plus Minus. Plus Minus is presented by our friends at Michelob Ultra. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra.
Shout out.
Plus Minus, I had to give my plus minus plus love to none other than Ayo Dosunmu. A co-team high 21 points last night off the bench. He is just bringing it in all of the ways that Bulls fans have come to rely on Ayo consistently. We talk about the word consistency a lot with this Bulls team, that talent-wise has got to squeeze every last ounce out of some of their collective parts. Billy Donovan saying the other night in a different phrasing, this team, we're not talented enough not to play desperate every night.
Yeah.
Ayo Dosunmu plays desperate every night.
Yeah.
And he's also doing it recently very efficiently. What was he from the field last night? 8 of 9?
8 of 9.
8 of 9 for 21 points.
And on that, he I just saw this tweet from StatMuse. I'm going to see if I can find it here. But I think he is, here it is. I would assume this season, 15.7 points, 55% from the field, 46.5 on threes, and 90.6 at the line. The most points by any player in the 50-40-90 club this year. So I was having a really great season. If you recall, last year he did not shoot the ball well. He obviously got injured. So the bounce back is really just great to see.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome stuff.
It is just great to see Ayo performing this consistently. And it has a lot of people wondering. I think it was actually NBA Couchside who quote tweeted us from our team account earlier today, because from last night's show when I was talking about, like, hey, it's awesome how great the Bulls bench has been. Ayo Dosunmu, chief among them. Is that a problem that we're relying on our bench this much? And some people were saying, should Ayo Dosunmu be in that starting lineup? We talked about it.
We did.
Like in training camp, preseason, that this guy has proven that he is capable of being a positive impact player in a starting lineup.
Yes.
In addition to saying, hey, coach, you need me to come off the bench?
Right.
Great, I can do that too.
Right.
I think it was part of one of Casey Johnson's sideline hits during the broadcast last night, talking to Billy about how much he likes Ayo Dosunmu in that role, coming off the bench, and that defensive spark he provides in that second unit when wondering, hey, we got Herter and Okoro out there. Okoro is not really providing the starting unit much offensively. Is Billy considering a change-up with Ayo? And it kind of coincides with my minus for the day because I love how productive and how reliable Ayo Dosunmu is.
Yes.
I'm not loving these performances we're getting from the Bulls starting 5 as a whole. Like, Josh Giddey had a pretty good night last night. Modest was okay last night. Vooch hit one big shot and otherwise was getting punked all night. Isaac Okoro, ghost of Keith Bogans. like Herter's been in a shooting slump. He kind of broke out of it a little bit tonight, but I don't love the fact that the Bulls need near 70 points from their bench to put themselves in a position to win the game.
Yeah.
And shout out to Dean Oliver, who on Twitter had this interesting stat the other day. And shout out also to our pal Drew Stevens of the Bigs, because he's the one who found it. Drew Stevens says banner day for the sum being greater than its parts, because Dean Oliver made note of last night, Denver starters were 31.2 net points better than their bench, a plus 14.1 compared to a negative 17.1, and they lost by 3 to the Bulls. That was the best performance by starters to lose a game this year.
Wow.
Chicago's win came with the second worst starters of the year across the entire NBA. That is that. Speaking of last night's win being improbable, not just the timing, schedule-wise, the venue, the opponent. How about that? How about that being the second worst performance from a team starting 5 in a win across the entire league through the first near month of the season?
Insanity.
I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not great.
Don't like it.
So we've heard a lot about like the Bulls' depth being their strength. I think one way to say that is that they are a deep team with a lot of talented players, but another way to say that is that their starting lineup is not that good relative to other teams, so they need to find other ways to win.
Some might call that a weakness.
Sure. And credit to them, they've found that, though. I mean, 66 points off the bench last night compared to 9 for the Nuggets. Like, you can't probably rely on that every single game, but I do think there's something to be said for the fact that they're able to get that kind of production out of their second unit, that they're able to maintain their style of play. That's something that Giddey has talked a lot about, Ayo has talked a lot about, Billy has talked a lot about, and that matters, but it probably helps you more in the regular season than it would in the playoffs. Like, you can run teams, you can beat teams up by wearing them down. I think more probably in the regular season as teams start to play that style and adopt that maybe a little bit more than they used to in the past. Maybe you aren't able to get away with it quite as much. But to me, you're also seeing a lot of these games, and especially the ones they've lost, where, yeah, they're able to play deep, but then they also have the star that can push them over the top. And so the Bulls are just not going to have that on a lot of nights. Can they still get enough production in these other ways, depth being a key piece there, that it is able to put them over the hump?
No, he's on point. He's right about these things. When I did my plus minus, again, just to show how Matt and I share a brain, right before I sent it in to Joey C, the C is for cat, I put Ayo Dosunmu as my plus. And then I stopped. I said,
thought
wait.
It was for Krecky.
Hold on. somebody's going to use that, and I think it's going to be Matt.
Hey.
And
Didn't this also happen last week?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This, and I'm telling you the exact truth. This is literally how I said. I was like, somebody's going to use this. I think it's going to be Matt. Let me not do that. Let me move on to someone else who deserves some love. And I went with Captain Craggy himself.
Craggy!
Josh Giddey. Young Joshua Giddey has been outstanding for the Chicago Bulls, man. He deserves all the love and the praise. He is putting up those numbers for sure. That's what he's going to do. He is going to have numbers to showcase his game. In his last 7 games, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, shooting 46% from the field in 36 minutes. That's Josh Giddey. That's what he's doing. Josh Giddey is also the fastest player in Bulls history to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, 100 assists. Fastest ever. He is about to destroy.
Did that not happen last season?
Yes.
200, 100?
I'm saying he's about to destroy and rip apart like this, Matt, in this kind of way. Like the point guards and point guard records that they have and all the ones that Jordan might have. It started with that one right there for me. Like that 200, 100 being the fastest one. Coming in, he's about to pounce. Cheetah, rabbit, Josh Giddey. It's about to be ridiculous for him, man. He has been truly impressive to me. And the three-point shooting staying at 35% has been awesome to watch. And what he's doing in that fourth quarter is also what I find very impressive. I said it on the show yesterday. He is the one that carried them, especially the starters, to that victory. And you're right about the starters, slacking and not doing their thing. Mm-hmm. The one who has consistently been doing their thing is Josh Giddey. Mm-hmm. He is the one. Like, even when Billy takes him out, you'll look at his stat line. It'll be about 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in the first quarter before he gets out of there. And and it's not just numbers that are just showing up. It's the impact of it as well. I loved him after the game when he was talking to Casey Johnson, giving all the credit in the world to the bench. Just saying, no, we don't deserve it, that they deserve all of that credit. He has been awesome, man. Like, I can't say enough about his leadership. I think teams kind of take on the identity of whoever the leader is on their team, and I feel like the Bulls are definitely playing that way because Josh Giddey is like that. He's kind of selfless. He doesn't want all the praise. He likes when his teammates get all the praise, and his teammates are like that too. So he deserves all this kind of credit that I'm giving him and a little bit more because he has just been consistent in his awesomeness. There hasn't been a fluctuation with Josh Giddey. It has been steady or going up. It has not dropped down at any point for him, man. So kudos to Captain Craggy and what he's doing out there.
And also you saw what the Bulls looked like when he wasn't in the lineup. Obviously, that Cleveland game, he got hurt in the third quarter, and he did come back, but he was just a shell of himself, did not look very good. And, Donovan Mitchell goes crazy. Who knows if the Bulls win that game with Giddey. But, they were in that game all along, and I think they give themselves a chance if he was able to stay healthy. Same thing with the Spurs game. Like, the fact that they were able to keep it close without Giddey, I think if you put him back in that game, maybe that goes a little bit differently. And then Detroit, that was just the sort of dud of the season. But, if Giddey's out there, he's been so consistent setting the tone, playing to the identity that they're trying to play to that gives them the best chance to win. You have to feel better about them maybe not having that clunker, and then the whole season could look different. So they're not going to win every game that he's playing. They're not going to lose every game that he sits out. But I do think that he has been a just really important piece to get them to keep their style consistent, and that's really I think the only chance they have to win.
Yeah, huge impact is what he's been making.
Yeah, I just wanted to chip in on Giddey real quick. I mean, this was a guy that came over from Oklahoma City who was literally phased out of their playoff rotation and was benched and then came over. And if the reports are true, and there's no reason to believe that they aren't, that I forget what the game was, but he sat for the last 4 minutes and he told Billy, keep this group out there. Let them keep running.
Yeah, it was the Magic game.
Yep.
Yeah, that shows just how mature he's gotten. And also when we talk about tone and it permeating throughout the rest of the team, him saying to himself that the minutes or the crunch time, it isn't as important as what we're doing as a unit right now. For what the Bulls are trying to do with this 10-deep style mentality, for the head of the snake to say, I can sit right now because everyone else is going good.
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes, man, and it bodes well for maybe the rest of the season with the style that they want to play.
I like that. You like the way I ripped that?
I did.
Thanks.
I did.
Thanks very much.
Also, I know we got to go to ad break here momentarily, but just since you brought him up, I wanted to shout out the article that I wrote today for our website about Giddey and about this really incredible level of self-belief that he has.
Yes.
When kind of the whole league is turning on him, when everybody kind of loses faith in him as a player,
Doubt.
in his ability to be sort of a star guy, which is what he needs to be if he wants to have the ball in his hands like he does, and his ability to stay consistent in that and continue to come back to that. So cool story about like his shoe deal and all that stuff, but really about his self-belief.
How Josh Giddey's signature shoe represents the rising star's self-belief and resurgence. There's your headline.
Resurgence.
That's going to draw them in.
Bring them in,
For
baby.
Diehards Only. I will have Joey share the link to that Diehards Only article in the chat. You can click on that or sign up to become a diehard so you can then click on that while you also listen to these words from our friends and sponsors and hit the like button all at the same time. We'll be right back.
Crikey. You can be good. You can also be great. That's also a thing. Two things can happen. But what you want to be is ultra.
Ding, ding.
All over for the people. And the only way you could be ultra, ladies and gentlemen, it was the smooth, crisp, refreshing, awesome taste of Michelob Ultra. Because once it hits your lips, oh my God, whether it's can or bottle, that taste is full throttle. But Big Dave, why is it Ultra? And where is the GOAT? Well, GOAT is everywhere. But also 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior smooth taste worth playing for. So they're also your official American beer sponsor of your Chicago Bulls. So no matter what you're playing for, ladies and gentlemen, you can do one thing. Make it superior. And you do that with Michelob Ultra. Be ultra magnetic.
CHGO Bulls is also brought to you by Prize Picks.
Prize Picks.
Dave, we make decisions every day.
Every day.
But on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. That's music to my ears. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. If you get your picks right, you cash in. Prize Picks is also the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen pass yards, rush yards, touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them within the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Shout out to Josh Allen because he had himself a 6-touchdown day last weekend. You could have made money off of that on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. CHGO promo code $50 instantly on your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
His jam.
We back, CHGO Bulls pod, hanging out on Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for hanging out here with us, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button. If you didn't do it during the break, it's free, and it's there, and it wants you to hit it. All right, we are still wrapping up our plus and minuses before we dive into our center rotation conversation. Dave, did we get to your minus?
No, we did not. Let's get to it now.
Let's get there. Okay.
And again, Matt Peck mentioned this said person in my minus, again, sharing the same brain. And I was like, yeah, that gentleman right there, the ghost of Keith Hogan.
I mean,
hilarious.
Point to the line,
I'm
man.
sorry, that's hilarious.
Point to the line.
Oh my gosh, Isaac Okoro, been struggling a little bit right there. We know the issues he has on offense. We understand that he came in, you know what I'm saying, with that's not new. For me, what it's been is I haven't been feeling him on the defensive end, and it's just like I talked about Modest yesterday, not feeling him. I haven't been feeling Isaac Okoro as of late. Do you know his defensive rating is 120.8?
That's not great.
Not great. Not great for a guy who you brought in to be that guy. He has had a rating this season against the Knicks of 140. He has not put up a defensive rating of 140 since 2022. He's not having a great season when it comes to those ratings so far. It's been like that, technical terms. But I'm concerned about it. I'm a little concerned about it because he is a guy that you brought out there to kind of shore up some things defensively. He always is in the kind of the right spot, especially offensively, which is, again, why I laugh at the Keith Bogans comparison, because Bogans was like that too. He was always in the right spot. He was always open, and there was a reason for that. And it feels like that's what's going on with Isaac Okoro, and he gets the shot. We saw it in Denver yesterday when they ran a fast break, and he sprayed out to the corner. It was a perfect pass over to him in the corner, and I mean a perfect form and everything, and it just did not go down. He has to be felt more defensively, though. That's where I want to feel him more and where his worth needs to be shown more on. I'm not worried about it offensively. For me, anytime he scores, it's cake. It's candy. It's the cherry on top. That's awesome. But defensively, the Bulls need him. He has to be better in these games, especially against these teams and these guys that they're going up against. Now, he's had some games where he's been solid for sure, but he has got to be better, man. So I just want him to be better. This is why I'm showcasing it like this, putting him in the minus section, because it's just not been great on the defensive end for him. I know C-Red Fred isn't happy about this, and I'm going to text him and talk to him about it for sure. But yeah, Isaac Okoro's got to be better, man. It's got to be better.
Can I add a little bit to that?
Oh, please.
Never hit your wagon to a Fred take. I mean, that's just
Never hit your wagon to
a Fred take.
A Fred take.
a Fred take.
Never hit your
I
wagon
didn't
to a
catch
Fred
that one
take.
either.
I didn't. I said I know he's mad about this.
Yeah.
You're just saying that in general for people.
For sure. That's
Okay.
never a wise thing to start your day with.
All right.
Love you, buddy.
Okoro, on-off split, minus 15.5. The Bulls are 15.5 points per 100 possessions better when Okoro is off the court compared to when he is on the court. Now, we just talked about it. The Bulls starters
Starting unit.
are
Yeah.
not as good as most starting units, but their bench is better. So I think that these numbers are going to be generally pretty skewed for this team, maybe more than like any other team that I can really remember.
Sure.
Like this is really not going to be representative, I think, of like what it would normally be. But the one that stands out to me here is that they're 5.5 points per 100 better with him off the court defensively. So their defense has actually been 5 points per 100 better without him. And that is one I'm concerned about a little bit. I do think that he is just like being asked to basically like do a job that no one man should have to do on his own. And like the team needs to be better. That will help him. I think he has been solid individually, but there's just only so much one guy can do.
Sure.
I do think he needs to also be better offensively, because otherwise it's like you're just being ignored and then you're playing 4-on-5. Like the two sides of the court to me are very much intertwined in that. But yeah, I mean, if you're bringing him in to play defensive stopper and he's not doing that, that's going to be a problem, especially if he's not giving you more offensively. I do feel like he's been solid defensively. I don't think he's been great, but I think the idea that he was brought in to be like the Caruso 2.0 is like, he's just not that guy.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, but I need better than solid from him as far as the defensive side of the ball. And you're right, you need it on both sides, but the reason I give him a pass on the offensive side is because I know he wasn't that guy like that. I just wanted the 3-point percentage to be solid, which it has been.
It has
3-point percentage
and
has been very solid.
he's moving all right off the ball. He's a good cutter.
Yeah.
He plays the baseline well, especially against zone. I don't think he's like not doing anything out there. I just think he's kind of overtasked with what they need him to do.
Yes.
And I think anytime you are doing you're being asked to do more than you're capable of, it's going to make you look worse than you actually are.
Sure.
Thomas Banks in the chat pointing out that same thing you just said, Goat, about the whole, like, this guy is not Alex Caruso. He can't play the Alex Caruso role the same way. Anthony in the chat, meanwhile, said there's always a reason there's always a reason a team trades you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Okoro get benched in the playoffs by the Cavs? Teams are still daring him to shoot and is hurt in the starting lineup. Benched, I would say, is a bit strong of a word, but his role was steadily decreasing.
Yeah.
Including in their playoff games.
Yeah.
It's almost like AK has a type. Oh, he's damaged, but I can fix him. Take your pick. It's a great roster building strategy, if you ask me. I have no lingering qualms or reservations about it. I think it's great. It's all going to work out great. Take guys cast away from teams that were rising deeper into the playoffs, and build your roster with those guys. It's going to be great. I feel great about it. All right, go. What are your pluses and minuses?
My plus.
Why does my back hurt?
My pluses. I believe I went with Coby White for my plus.
One game.
It wasn't so much a comment of like he's had an impact on like the outcome of the games this season, but it just watching him back out there reminded me how good of a fit he is within what the Bulls are trying to do, and specifically next to Giddey. Like this whole conversation about, the Bulls got off to a 5-0 start. Do they need Coby? Should they trade him? I think they need him. And that was really, I felt that a lot during this game, especially in the end of the first overtime when he was the one that, got off the dribble, got to the cup and finished and scored and forced the game to go into a second overtime. So I think he's just going to get better and better as he gets into better shape. And I think that his volume scoring and specifically his ability to do that within the flow of the offense is, one, really rare, and two, incredibly important to what the Bulls want to do and how they're going to win these games because, again, they just don't have a lot of guys, especially in the starting lineup, that are going to be overwhelming offensively. He and Giddey, to a certain extent, in a different kind of way, are the guys that can do that. And I just think that scoring, that off the dribble, the paint penetration, like all that stuff is super valuable to what the Bulls need to do.
100%.
The immediacy of how you felt him on the floor was amazing. And the immediacy of what you knew the Bulls were missing when he got out there was, I mean, it was like that. That's really what it was. As soon as he walked on and as soon as he got into a set, it was like that. And he was like, oh, God, we need that. Oh, yeah, we need that. I'm like, yeah, him, that guy. That's, for me, was the biggest just eyes on the screen kind of impact that you saw with Coby White, man. It's going to be great.
Somebody who can create his own shot anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
Get to the rim at will.
Yeah, free throw.
First game of the season, he shoots 14 free throws. Well, by the way, he makes all 14 of them. Like, that is incredible.
It was incredible,
but also,
man.
like, I think importantly, doesn't need the ball in his hands in order to be successful.
Correct.
He's really good off the ball. You saw him, like, hit the movement 3 on his first touch back. Like, there's just a lot of things that he opens up with his skill set that I think are really important for this team.
100% agree. All right, go. I think I saw that you said your minus is Bulls floor. Now,
Yeah.
are you about to rag on the people who take care of the hardwood at the Madhouse?
I think he's mad
Or is this a
at
different meaning?
the Emeritus Cup floor that he's seeing out there. That's what he's talking about.
No, I liked the cup floor better this year. The gray is not as bad as the.
Doesn't make my eyes
Can't
bleed.
you tell? Based on what I'm wearing.
That's on me. That's on me.
But yeah, the red was just. It was
Now that's my jam.
It was too much. It was like hurting my eyes watching it.
Yeah, baby.
But no, what I meant by the Bulls floor is my sort of belief in how good they're going to be if they are not at their best. And so basically the way I'm looking at this is like you just lost 5 games in a row. And I didn't think, I remember saying this to you guys calling in from one of the games at the United Center.
Flex.
That like I felt very confident that they were going to be able to get to a point of consistency with how they're playing, that they weren't going to have any of these super long losing streaks. And I feel like this 5-game losing streak that they were just on forced me to reevaluate that. And I do think that this is a team that's capable of, like Zach LaVine always used to say, you're able to beat the best teams and you're able to lose. You're able to, what was it? Like beat anybody and lose to anybody too.
Yeah.
And that is a little concerning to me when you're in an open Eastern Conference. Like there's going to be opportunities there if you can get hot. But I think you look at the standings, and we're going to go through the power rankings. Like, there's also some downside there where, like, this team doesn't make the play-in. And I think if you put together more stretches of good than bad, obviously you're going to put yourself in a good position. But I just don't see a lot of these teams going on 5-game losing streaks in the top 11 in the Eastern Conference. And I'm not saying the Bulls are going to go on another 5-game losing streak, but that was concerning to me. And it made me think, like, hey, maybe there is some downside with this group that they're not able to get to that style consistently. And if they can't do that, they simply don't have the star power to like claw their way into wins without being consistent there.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I think the play of the starters kind of echoes your point.
Yeah, sure.
Of what you're saying. Like there has to be a consistency. And honestly, I think the bench is going to have that kind of consistency when they play because, you know, that's the bench. You know, they have their identity. It feels like they have their identity and know what they want to be, but the starters are still kind of fleshing it out. I'm going to give a small amount of grace to the fact that Coby White wasn't out there. The reason I say small is because even when he wasn't out there, they still won like 5 games like in a row. So I can't just put all the blame there. You know what I mean? Like some of it, you just have to get right. And Billy is not going to, you know, give them that long of a leash. I think we're learning now as the season goes as far as the starters. If you're not playing well, man, and you see what the bench is doing, he's going to get you out of there.
Yeah.
Especially like last night we saw the bench come in during the last 2 minutes of Jokic's first stint, right? So he had played for 8-9 minutes in a row. The bench comes in. He's like presumably getting really tired because he just played 9 minutes in a row. And now you're running and gunning. And like that puts him in a good position. So that helps the on-off stuff. But I just think like as a group, I'm not as convinced that like this is a 45-win team the way that I was after the 5-game win streak because they're also capable of losing 5 in a row.
Yeah. And your point about the floor, I get, and that maybe reevaluating that after a 5-game skid. To me, the floor has not changed for this team.
Okay.
Because my floor for this team coming into the season was the 12th seed.
Yes.
It hasn't fallen further than that because teams like Brooklyn and Washington and Charlotte still exist. Now you got the Pacers in that mix as well. If anything, the floor of this team, even after a 5-game losing streak, is higher than where I had it coming into the season.
That's true.
The ceiling is still somewhere around 6 or 7.
No, sorry.
But I think it just depends on what your expectations were coming in. But to me, yeah, like
I'm saying, I guess, like reevaluating it based on the game 6, starting from game 6,
right?
Of like, we know this team is better than we thought they were going to be coming in, but now I'm like, are they actually as good as I thought they were? Probably not. And
proving that they're capable to losing to the not G League but Z League Pistons. So yeah, just like Zach said all the time back in the day. Can beat anybody, can lose to anybody. All right, let's knock out our other ad break. We'll come back on the other side and dive into this confusing center conundrum that's about to have Billy Donovan wondering about Collins' minutes. Hit the like button. We'll be right back.
What up, y'all?
CHGO Bulls is brought to you by Bet365. And right now with the early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the Bet365 app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO365 when you do, because when you use that promo code at sign up and make your first $5 bet, you are going to get $150 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet, win or lose. Plus, with the Bet365 NBA Tip-Off Tuesdays, that's today. You can place a qualifying same-game parlay with the safety net bet on Tuesday NBA games to get up to $10 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Terms and conditions apply. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. So what are you waiting for? Download that app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO365. Must be 21 and older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
I ain't going to waste your time. Factor meal kits are amazing. That right there. Look, me and Matt eat differently, okay? Matt loves meat. I'm a fish guy. That's how it goes. There are vegetarians and vegans out there also as well. Or people who see that and say, get off my plate, just give me all of the meat. Factor loves all. Anything you want, that's how you're going to get it from Factor, man. 6 meals is what you're going to get in your kit. When it shows up at your door, the excitement and the joy that happens when you put that into that microwave and pull it out, because you ain't got to cook nothing, all right? You put it there, you bring it out, yum, 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 as Matt just exclaimed the show to you, y'all. How do I know it's awesome? Because 97% of customers said that Factor has helped them live a healthier life. 97%. Wow. Eat smart at factormeals.com/CHGO50 off and use the code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. That code CHGO50 off at factormealkits.com. 50% off your first box, free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renew subscription purchase.
We're back. CHGO Bulls rolling along on Tuesday. Hit the like button if you didn't do it during the ad break. Next on deck, Zach Collins is nearing a return. Main Street Sports asked in the chat, is Zach Collins back in the lineup? Not quite yet, but the brace or splint or whatever he had on his wrist is off and has been doing plenty of running in the meantime. I think it was Rob just mentioned in the chat, conditioning-wise, he can jump back in because you can run on a treadmill with the brace on your wrist.
That's true. That's what I've been told.
The question that everybody's wondering, and a lot of people in our chat, post-game last night, yeah, he hit that 3, but oh my God, Vooch has just been falling off a cliff in this recent stretch of games. Meanwhile, Jalen Smith is ascending. Huge for the Bulls in that win last night.
Huge.
He left the game briefly with what appeared to be a shoulder stinger. Still waiting on more words on that and how he's doing. But now instead of just a discussion of should Billy shade off of Vooch's minutes and give Jalen Smith more, now it's what about the guy who took some of Jalen Smith's minutes at the tail end of last season, who's about to make his season debut any day now.
Yeah. It's about to be a tough one for Billy here. And this is a good problem, honestly, to have, because their interior defense has been an issue, and it's been a problem. So getting more help at that position and someone who has showed you already that they can help at that position is great. It's just not going to be as smooth, I think, as it was last time, or easier to process as it was last time. Because last time you looked and you're like, oh, Jalen Smith, last year, he's not playing well. He has a knee thing going on. Okay, Zach, go ahead. Okay, Vooch has been out, a few games. He's been injured. Okay, Zach, go ahead. It's easy. This time, Jalen Smith is getting those minutes over Nikola Vucevic, man. And we just talked about how much Billy, trusts and values Nikola Vucevic. And he was like, sit down for a second. Let Jalen get some run. And it was the right call. So bringing Zach Collins back, how do you work that in? How does that flow in? How does Billy figure that out, especially defensively? I'm not thinking about it offensively, guys. I'm thinking about it defensively because offensively, I think they'll be fine. I mean, Jalen Smith has shown he can score. We already know Vooch can score. Zach Collins can get double-digit points. These guys can rebound. All three of them can definitely rebound for sure. All three of them can be, get some blocks and things like that. Vooch is a great passer. We got all that. Defensively, how do you get that on the floor? So I look at it like this. Vooch is going to be Vooch. They're not going to move Vooch from the starting lineup. He's there. He's going to be what it is. What's going to be next up to bat? Will that be matchup dependent, or will Billy just go with who is comfortable and who he just feels as good as he does about Vooch? I'm curious about that aspect of it. And how do they move Collins back in? Because like you just said, it's not a leg issue here. You know what I mean? It's a hand issue because you're missing that toughness. You're missing that interior defense that he provides. You're missing even those tough screens and things like that he provides. A lot of that stuff is missing that you're going to get back from him. I'm curious to see how Billy figures that out. Matchup dependency or going with who I trust.
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think, well, first of all, Zach Collins was really good last year.
He was good.
The Bulls were 10 points per 100 better with him defensively on the court compared to off. That was the best on the team.
Numbers.
For example, or for context rather, Lonzo was -6.5. He was the team's noted best defender at that point. So, and that's 98th percentile. That's incredibly good if you're able to make the team that much better on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. Now, Collins has never really been historically that caliber of defender, so I wonder how much of that is just situational, the team playing well. The year before that, they were 7. The Spurs were, now you'll have Wemby there. He played not a ton of games, but they were 7.2 points per 100 better with him off the floor. So 17-point swing from last year 2 years ago to last year. Mm. I don't know if that caliber of defense will sustain. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I do think he adds a lot of value in terms of his screening and rolling. He's a good passer. He can shoot it a little bit, not like a sharp shooter by any means, but he's got good interior game. He's a good interior passer. I think he can do a lot of stuff that will help the Bulls. Sure. And I think he probably will. My guess would be that he slots back in as the backup 5. And I think the way that Jalen's playing right now, it doesn't strike me that Billy fully trusts him to play big minutes, but more if he's playing well, I'm going to leave him out there. That's kind of the level of trust that I'm able to just see based on assess exactly. So maybe he's earned a little bit more to where he's kind of going to be able to guarantee himself some minutes. Maybe you play 2 bigs and you can go with Collins and Smith, but then you run into issues with switching 1 through 4, which is what the Bulls like to do, and not really having a perimeter guy that you can throw on and forcing Modest down to the 3. That can be a challenge. So I do think it's going to be questionable in terms of what he goes with. I think also it could just be they're playing against X team on this night. They're a 2-big team. Let's go with 2 bigs tonight. Or we're going against a small team. Let's go with just the 1 big. And we need shooting tonight. Let's go with Jalen. They need box out and screen setting tonight. They need Collins. So I think it could be just situational that way.
Yeah, that was my follow-up. Okay. Really quick was what was your perspective of how they might have handled last night where Vooch isn't really having the best night? Now, granted, he hit the big shot at the end of the game, but when you're talking about Jokic, when you're talking about Mobley, when you're talking about Duren in Detroit, you're talking about a lot of these different bigs in the East, could you see maybe Vooch just doesn't get those minutes that are always carved out to him throughout his career and maybe misses a shift or 2?
I think fourth quarter he still gets those, closing the game. I think he still gets those minutes that kind of way. But, throughout it, I think it could be situational. And even if Zach Collins, he chose to go with him against against Joker in his last game, it might not even been the right call because of the way Jalen Smith was playing Nikola Jokic. He was giving him fits. He really was. In a Joker kind of way. Yeah. He was giving him fits and making it tough for him to score. So if you're looking at it, you would say, oh, yeah, put Zach Collins out there. He's a tougher guy like that. But no, Jalen Smith was like, I got this, and he handled it. And he got down, and he walked away with Goon of the Night because of it. Like, so that's why I think it's going to be tough, because you can't just look at that and say, oh, just based on, you know, the visual and the kind of things that he does, I'm going to go with this guy, because that could be the wrong decision. He could get out there and get his ass fried. And then Jalen Smith, you got a guy who has been cooking and playing incredibly well so far. You just take him away from that because of how the matchup could look. Like, it's a tough decision. I don't envy it, but I don't think it's that simple. I just don't think it's that simple.
I think it's like I agree with you. He's like, Vooch is not going anywhere. I think like a lot of consistent poor play would have to happen for Vooch to lose his spot.
Super consistent.
And I think Collins will probably get an opportunity to slot back in as the backup. And if he's playing well, then I think Billy will go with him. If he's not playing well, I think he will have a shorter leash than Vooch will, and that will allow Jalen to come back in. And if Jalen plays poorly, then they'll probably go back to Collins. And if he plays well, then maybe they'll go with Smith more.
Why?
Yeah, and that's the thing, because, you know, I saw tons of people in the comments talking about it, like, Vooch is Charmin soft protecting the rim, says Travis. How many times have we heard that from Bulls fans over the years?
A few times.
That is not, I think, what Goat is saying, as if Vooch has a long stretch of really bad games, then maybe Billy will consider this. Mm-hmm. Some Bulls fans might say, well, yeah, but what about the rim protection? It's been that bad. But Billy trusts Vooch in spite of that.
He does.
That hasn't changed. I don't anticipate it changing. So the question, I saw other people suggesting, like, well, what about just like treating Vooch like a really aging vet, where it's like Pop, the way he treated Tim Duncan in the twilight years. Mm-hmm. DNP, old, like, you know, load management. It's a conversation around the league. Triggers some of us, but that's the other thing that Vooch, I think, does deserve credit for in his Bulls tenure. The man's an Iron Man.
Yeah.
He plays damn near every night, every season.
He does.
That is a strength of his. So I don't think Billy wants to lose that strength of Vooch's ability of availability. And like, oh, well, maybe he'll play better if I just, you know, give him every third game off. Like, no, I don't think Vooch would like that. I think Vooch would check out if Billy tried to do that to him.
Yeah.
And then the other possible wrinkle here, Anthony in the chat asks, with Collins being more athletic than Vooch, could we see Billy start both with Giddey, Coby, and Modest at the 3?
Oh, no.
Now, put a pin in the whole Modest at the 3 idea, because that's, I think, one that Bulls fans are valid to want to explore.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
In the present and future.
Sure.
As far as starting Collins and Vooch, if that's your question, cool, who's not starting? Is it Isaac Okoro?
Okay.
The guy that your lead executive went out and specifically targeted in a trade this offseason? Why I said he was probably going to be the one ending up in the starting lineup, because AK went out and said he's my special boy. And like you were talking about Collins' ability to shoot the ball, or lack thereof, a few minutes ago, Goat. Yeah, he can knock down the occasional 3.
He can.
I wouldn't call him a reliable floor spacer. And I'm not saying that Isaac Okoro is either, but Okoro also is a much more capable perimeter defender.
Yeah.
You know Vooch is going to be in there, not defending the rim.
In there.
So the one thing that you can rely on for Isaac Okoro right now, because he's also been asked some nights to guard guys bigger than him, and it hasn't gone great. I think where he can be a solid lockdown defender is on the perimeter against smaller, quicker guards.
Yeah.
So if you take that out of your starting lineups equation and you don't add more floor spacing into it, it's like you're hurting your offense and your defense.
Oh, I like the way you put that. I want to come back to you. Hold your quaff to the fire. I don't see you. I need you to explain how Collins can be slotted in to the backup center position like that when he gets back, when you've seen what Jalen Smith has been doing at that position, and it doesn't feel like anything has, outside of the defense, as anything has, been missing or anything has been wrong or he's lucked into anything. Like, he's playing very, very well. And so why would I remove that for somebody who is coming back from an injury and has to still kind of prove it, a little bit, when Jalen has been proving it? I feel like I'm at, like, shouldn't he get a run until he falls off the cliff? And then we're like, okay, Zach Collins, we'll give you, your backup position at this time and let you check it out, because Jalen hasn't done anything to lose it.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I just think that, like, there's a, like I'm trying to say, like there's a difference between like trusting a guy to keep playing if he's playing well and trusting a guy to execute everything that he needs to execute going into the game. And I think Jalen is having a hot stretch. He is shooting the ball incredibly well. He's blocking shots, but he's still, in my opinion, like not, like, I don't want to say he's not playing well because he is playing well, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a difference between like playing well as a result of like hitting your shots and playing well as a result of like doing all the boxing out and the defensive executions and the, rotations and quarterbacking defense. And I just don't think he's ever been great at that. I'm not saying he's been doing it poorly lately, but I just think that the way that it worked last year was Collins came in and immediately earned that level of trust that Smith clearly hadn't. And so I think that the trust that we're talking about here extends beyond just the first 12 games of this season and into last year of how they played. Would I be upset or think it would be wrong if Smith continued to play until, like you said, he falls off, or maybe he just doesn't? And at the end of the day, like, you can't play three bigs in a game. Like, you just can't do that. Yeah. So no, if he's playing well, like, let him keep on playing. But I'm just saying, I think that Billy still long-term, big picture trusts Collins more. Mm-hmm. And that's why I just was kind of assuming that he would go back into that role. But maybe I'm wrong. And, Smith has been really impressing Billy, and he has been making his shots, and he has also been doing all those other things. And that has earned him a shot. I'm not saying that hasn't happened by any means.
Mm-hmm. Joey C., we're going to need a Billy Donovan circle of trust graphic. Just so you know. We're gonna
good one.
Hank Rodriguez in the chat.
Elements.
Yes, sir.
Hank in the chat saying, get that second-round pick for Vooch from the Warriors and move on already. Travis, thank you, Hank. Rob, take what you can get. If it's this draft, anything for Vooch. If they need a shooter, throw in Carter.
Hey,
guys,
man.
okay.
Catching strays.
First of all, if AK wanted to take a second-round pick for Vooch, it would have happened already.
Yes, seriously.
And you might, well, that was then and this is now, and it's like his production has fallen off, so now he's willing to take a second-round pick. No, he's not. I wouldn't be willing to bet that AK, if he got a phone call tomorrow from some team, whether it be Warriors or otherwise, saying, hey, we'll give you, you know what, not even one, we'll give you 2 future second-round picks for Nikola Vucevic.
They wouldn't take 2 second-round picks for Andre Drummond, who was an expiring. Like, they're just not interested in that. And again, we talk about the incentive structures.
And what was the reason? Well, we can't give ourselves a good fight in the play-in tournament without the services of one Andre Drummond. The Bulls are trying to make the playoffs this year.
Unless Vooch is no longer giving the Bulls the best chance to win out of their 3 centers, not just 2. Like, maybe he continues to slide and like eventually is playing much worse, much more consistently, and he gets moved to a bench role. Like, that's one level. I think he would need to be sliding beyond that to be the 3rd string center and not playing every day for him to get jumped by both Smith and Collins. And then he's playing so poorly that why are you giving up anything to trade for him if he's not playing well?
If that is the case, if it gets to that desperate of a level with Vooch actually,
and I'm not saying that
his play and production falling off beyond Bulls fans just saying, well, he doesn't protect the rim. We all know this, okay? Move on. He's not getting traded. His production's not that bad. And if it got to that point where Billy Donovan is like Jalen Smith and Zach Collins, legitimately miles better than Vooch, their minutes on the floor, miles better than Vooch, then who is calling the Bulls to say, let me get that guy? Here's some picks for him.
I just don't think that the Bulls are – I think what's going to happen –
these realities don't overlap or coexist in any way.
Yeah, what's going to happen is Vooch is going to walk for nothing in free agency. Like, that's just what's going to happen. He's going to help them until his contract expires, and they're not going to trade him if they feel like they're not getting someone that helps them or, like, an unprotected first-round pick from, like, a lottery team, which is just not going to happen. And they're probably not going to be able to re-sign him because he's going to want to go compete for a championship somewhere, and you can't blame him for that. So I just don't see a world where they trade him, and I don't really see a world where they're re-signing him. So those are kind of the outcomes.
So you sure like the Pelicans don't have a first-round pick still lying around that they'll casually just chuck?
You never know what Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver are going to get themselves into. So maybe I'm wrong, but and like injuries could come in the way of that. That's just kind of my hate to tell you for
that is
for
I hate
today.
To tell you,
it's just
is.
like
so close to the holidays.
He's helping them win. Like, some people disagree with that. I think they're wrong. Like, Vooch is still a good player. He has flaws, but he has been very consistent. He spaces the floor. He, keeps the ball moving side to side. He attacks closeouts. He does a lot of things that this Bulls team really needs and really values. And until he's not doing that, they're not going to get rid of him. And if he isn't doing that, then who's trading for him?
So close to the holidays. It's so close. And Goat comes with, I hate to tell you, from
Yeah.
way down.
I think it's more that like people need to appreciate the things that Vooch does well. Like I think
Goat. He does zero
Yeah,
useful things.
That's a silly thing to say. But
Only
that's my
negative
perspective.
things. He sucks. He's worthless. And if you don't share that opinion, you're dumb. Yeah. Look, to me, that's why it's not Vooch that's the most fascinating part of this conversation.
Yeah.
It's Collins and Smith.
Yeah.
And who is
The law
earning
offices.
more of Billy's trust from a game-to-game basis.
Yeah, man.
I don't think Collins will be back until I was just closed out of the schedule, but I think it will be the 28th, which is a Friday the 28th at Charlotte, which is the final group stage game of the NBA Cup. They've got obviously tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, and then they have 3 days off of practice. Right. I think that's when they're going to reintegrate him, and we'll see what happens then.
Speaking of that Friday the 28th, just putting it on y'all's radar, Bulls Nation. CHGO, hell of a Black Friday sale.
Boom.
Right around the corner.
On the way. On
Sneaky tease.
the way.
That's right. And CHGO diehards get first dibs on it because they're actually going to start the sale on the Monday before Thanksgiving.
You sneaky.
There's your latest reason, along with Goat's exclusive one-on-one with Josh Giddey and his new shoe drop, to become a diehard today.
Do that. There wasn't any injury update on Jalen Smith, correct?
I haven't seen anything.
Not that I saw.
I don't think there was practice today.
I think I saw from some of Billy's postgame comments, I can't remember which traveling beat reporter had it, but saying like didn't think it was too serious. But that's the only thing I saw last night, and I haven't seen anything today.
And no injury report yet submitted for the Bulls, so we probably won't find out until tomorrow.
Okay.
Major
League.
Hey, you know what? If his shoulder came out of its socket one time, that's okay. Just not. Let's hope it's not 5 times. Let's hope it's not 5 times. Shout out to our guy Ayo. All right, with our remaining time tonight, let's talk East Power rankings. Doing these every week so far this season. I think we started from the bottom and went up last week. Let's start from the top and work down this week. Let's look at the front half of those Eastern Conference Power rankings. Major Joseph Pistons, hottest team in the league, arguably.
Yeah.
12-2.
They've been crazy good.
Detroit?
Crazy good.
The bad boys?
Detroit basketball.
They're this good?
Yeah, man.
You know who one of those 2 losses, though, is, right?
You better believe it.
Shadazy.
Yeah.
A plus 6.7 point differential, very strong. Cavs and Knicks, the 2 projected top 2 finishers in the East, potential Eastern Conference Finals foes this year, are coming in at 2 and 3 in our power rankings. Mm-hmm. The Hawks, who are...
And we were all... That was everybody had the same 1, 2, 3 in that.
1, 2, 3 was the same for all 3 of us?
Oh,
okay,
cool.
There you go. Because these are average rankings between all 3 of us. We all chose our own paths and numbers. Hawks Raptors at 4-5 is, I think, where this gets really fascinating.
Let's get nuts.
Because guess what? Hawks are better without Trae Young, question mark? He has sat, and I think in their games that he has sat, they are now 7-2, 8-2.
Wow.
I mean, they're an absolute menace defensively without him.
Yeah.
Because you put Nickeil Alexander-Walker in with Dyson Daniels, with Jalen Johnson, with Zachary Shea,
Jalen
and
Johnson,
Porzingis. They're just a really good team. I think I was the only one that had the Raptors above them, but I mean, I certainly see the case for the Hawks with the way they're playing. I just think that, like, to me, I wonder what this looks like in a postseason setting because you don't have that primary scoring option. And Jalen Johnson has been awesome. Maybe he continues to evolve into that. But I think they still have this like Trae question looming of like, how does that work? And you kind of have to make it work that I wasn't totally comfortable with. Whereas Toronto is just playing some incredible basketball. 7th in offense, 3rd in defense over the last 2 weeks.
What?
6-1 over the last 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that more surprising to you than the Hawks?
Not me. Not me
I think
at
I
all.
had the Raptors top 6 or top 5 preseason. So I mean,
You were a believer in the Raptors before the season even started.
I was. I don't know that I thought that they would play quite this well, but I think it's just going to like kind of ebb and flow for all these teams. Like they're going to catch hot streaks. They're going to get a little bit cold. And right now, like the teams that I had up higher are just like a little bit hotter.
They brought the old court back. So that's
They
like,
did.
that
They did.
itself right there.
Dude, that thing
Big
looks
reason why
awesome.
it looks amazing.
And with the jerseys to match.
Yeah.
God, so cool. All right, so then who ended up at 6 and 7 in the top half of our power rankings? Sixers at 7. That's convenient. They are 8 and 5 on the year so far with a 2.5 net positive rating, and the Celtics at 7 and 7 through 14, average ranking of 9, so they slot in at 8. But look at that point differential for Boston.
Yeah.
Plus
They're playing
4.5.
really well. Another team that is really on a bit of a heater here. 4-2 over the last 6. 6th in offense, 12th in defense. And it just feels like they were kind of stumbling out of the gate. Guys weren't really playing well. They were kind of like figuring out their identity a little bit. And it seems like they're kind of catching a rhythm here.
Yeah, so I thought that the Celtics and Pacers could be competitive teams this year if they wanted to be, in spite of not having, respectively, Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton. The Celtics might be proving that in their case that is true with Tatum. Because yes, they also lost Al Horford. They also lost Kristaps. It's not just Tatum missing a season with his Achilles. Like, that team lost talent elsewhere, but they still have a lot of talent in Boston. Indiana, different story.
Yeah, a whole different story.
But if you told me the Celtics ended up being one of the 8 playoff teams in the East, whether through the play-in tournament or otherwise, would not be shocked at all.
I mean, what if Tatum comes back?
Yeah,
He said,
Trying.
Don't rule me out for the season. Not so fast.
Yeah, I thought Boston was going to, be in the hunt.
And then if
Beginning, we
Tatum
had
comes
this
back before the
discussion.
season's over, all bets are off.
Yeah,
dude.
and that's one of the reasons why. But like I said, like, they had too many dogs on their team for me to be to just turn in, and, get into bed and go to sleep. Like, it just didn't feel that way.
They're also underperforming right now relative to their point differential, which is plus 4.1 in the season. They're playing like a 51-win team.
Yeah.
They should be. They actually have the. They're based on that. You would have expected them to win 8.7 games. They've won 7, and that difference of 1.7 is the biggest number in the league in terms of number. Amount that they're underachieving.
And
by.
they're so well coached. Also,
Yeah.
Never want to leave out how well coached they are.
And I just want to make sure, did I screw this graphic up? Because I feel like I'm missing a team on this rankings list. Did I mess this up?
I had a team in that top 8 on that rankings list, sir. I had a squad. I did. I had a squad in there. It was outvoted on that one, sir.
Big Dave, where did you have the Bulls in?
Is that the team we're talking about?
I assume that's the team that Joey was talking about.
Okay, great. I think I had the Bulls 8th.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I had them 8th, and probably had Boston 10 because
you had Boston 10 and the Bulls 8.
Yeah, because I'm you still got they're playing great and doing well.
Matt had Boston 10 as well. I had them
Still
7.
got stuff to improve. You still got stuff to improve. And and it was I thought the Bulls were still 8th. I still would have taken them over. Who did I have them over? Milwaukee, yeah, definitely. I had them over Milwaukee. It was close, by a hair. It wasn't big, but it's not a big deal. I definitely didn't have them over the Magic. I all my love and faith in the Magic has definitely waned and fallen off. So I definitely had the Bulls over them. They've been very disappointing. The Hornets' record was better. I would have them higher. I'm very high on the Hornets, but the record is what it is, and you have to call it at that. The Wizards took over the bottom spot on mine and yours as well. So I think we probably had that all the same because the Nets was the team that everyone beat, not the team to beat, the team everyone beat. And now they have 2 wins. And I'm like, hey, look at that. But Indiana is probably it's not disappointment. It's just sad. I'm just more sad that they have won only 1 game, man, because I wanted them to have more than that because, coming off of what they did in the finals and just getting all the injuries that they got. It's not just Halliburton, man. They have just got smacked in the face pretty hard, with that injury bug. So it kind of sucks because these aren't blowout games, or at least they weren't to start the season for them. But, yeah, man, I feel bad for Siakam and, of course, the Furfinator out there not being able to showcase what he does. But, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, I had the Bulls definitely in that top 8.
Yeah, we all had the top 3 the same and the bottom 3 the same, with the Nets, the Pacers, and the Wizards coming in at 13, 14, and 15. And actually the Hornets at 11 or at 12, excuse me.
So that giant middle jumble of the East.
Middle jumble.
Of teams that are
Yeah.
like, some of these teams are a little bit better than average, maybe.
Yeah.
And some of these teams are average, and some of these teams aren't quite average. And it's just honestly coming into this season, I was like, you could tell me the Bulls end up at the top end of that giant mess of teams in the East, and you could tell me that they'd end up at the bottom of that giant mess of teams in the East.
Yeah.
Either way, I'd believe you.
And I still feel that way.
Yeah,
I
same.
still feel that way. The reason I had the Bulls at 11 is mostly just because of the run that they were on. Like, you lose 5 games in a row, including to some really not so great teams that you probably should beat.
Yeah.
And like I said in my plus minus, like it forced me to question what I think this team's floor is. And I think when you're looking at basically every other team in the East playing better than them, except for those bottom 4 over the last 2 weeks, like, I felt like I had to reflect that in my power rankings. Now, again, do I think that Giannis is going to miss a couple of weeks here? Do I think that the Bulls can climb up above the Bucks and the Magic? For sure. Do I think they could even be a 6 seed or a 5 seed this year? I still think that's on the table. I just think the way that they've been playing recently forced me to lower them a bit.
Okay, that's fair. I like watching the Hornets. They're one of my favorite teams to watch on League Pass. Shout out Eric Collins as well. But yeah, Con Knipple, man. Like, I've been a huge Con Knipple fan since they got him. He's doing everything I thought he would do for that team. Sion James has been helpful for them as well.
Caliprenner.
Yes, just
blocking
out there
shots,
blocking
not
all
missing
the shots.
any shots.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch, but they're still the Hornets right now. And for me, Knipple is the identity, and they kind of build around that part of it. But yeah, we'll see, man. They're a fun 4-10 team to watch, if that makes any sense.
Bulls got them on deck next weekend?
Yeah, after Thanksgiving.
So there you go.
They have, they've got Portland and Miami, 2 tough teams, but then it opens up here a bit. You got Washington, New Orleans, Charlotte, Indiana, Orlando, Brooklyn, Indiana.
Whoa.
You can make up some real ground there.
could.
And look,
Conceivably winning 6 games in a 7-game stretch right there.
we've seen them beat good teams and we've seen them lose to bad teams. So you don't want to like write anything down, but I do think that if we do this in 2 weeks from now, could they be up in the top 4, top 5, top 6?
Oh.
Sure. Could they be right where they are now, which is 11th? I think that's absolutely possible too. And I think that's kind of like the challenge of, do you decide to make a little bit of a push here so that you can maybe raise yourself out of like and make a trade and kind of raise yourself out of this group, or not? Or do you lean into it? And so it's just going to be kind of a fascinating way to see. Maybe the Celtics decide to do that and get out of the tax. Maybe, some of these other teams decide it's just not worth it, or there's an injury that throws things out of proportion. So a lot could happen here, but I also think that the Bulls are going to be consistent in the way that they play and in continuing to push.
I someday would like to just sit here for an entire hour-long episode and just watch and listen as GOAT rifles off a whole laundry list of possibilities of what we might see the Bulls accomplish or not, and just listen to all of Dave's audible but nonverbal reactions to it. Because that was truly delightful. What a ride I just went on.
Wookie over there.
Shout out to Rel's World, who threw us a last-minute $10 super chat. Appreciate you saying, Will, can you ask Coby how many pairs of the LeBron 20 he has left? I don't know. Is he known for owning lots of pairs of those?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Yuta also asked us a question. Who actually asked Joey to ask Go a question.
If time allows.
About media choosing what questions to ask and who they talk to. That sounds like a diehard Discord conversation to me, honestly.
Yeah, let's take that to the Discord.
Boom.
Because
Because unfortunately today, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on our off-day show. We will be back tomorrow for the Bulls' last game of this 3-game trip out west, the Blazers, who have dropped a couple recently. They also, though, have wins over OKC and Denver. Big time.
They do.
So that's going to be a tough test tomorrow. Pre-game, live, 8:30 Central Standard Time.
Let's go.
In the evening. Joey, you with us tomorrow night?
I'm with you guys.
Let's go.
Charged up.
Whoa. Bulls After Dark. Let's
He's
go.
excited. Yeah.
In the meantime, until we talk to you for pregame tomorrow, follow Go Will_Gottlieb, read his stuff, allchgo.com. Become a diehard so you can read all of it, including the brand new exclusive, Talking Josh Giddey. Talking Josh Giddey's shoes. Yeah, do that. Will_Gottlieb, Big Day Bow, BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Our king of the controls is Joey See
you for Cat.
Have a great night. Get yourself a little more sleep tonight. We'll see you late night tomorrow. See you, Red. Be good.
Love y'all, man. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.